Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast, episode 127. I'm your host, Perrysburg resident Kim Newlove. The Perrysburg Podcast is a resource for Perrysburg residents. We talk about what's in Perrysburg and why people like to live here. Our website is perrysburgpodcast.com. Today, we are talking about ways to give back in and around Perrysburg. When people talk about giving back, they often use the word volunteering. I am guilty of this. I used that word back in episodes 84 and 88 when I talked about volunteer opportunities in Perrysburg. But not everything that helps the community fits neatly under that word volunteering. So rather than have a third episode with the word volunteering in the title, I titled this episode Ways to Give Back in and Around Perrysburg. Now, people give back lots of ways here in Perrysburg by volunteering their time, by donating their resources, meaning stuff and cash, and also by serving in leadership roles. Today, I'll walk through some practical ways to give back in and around Perrysburg, which might help you figure out what might be a good fit for you. Now, I don't want this to read like a brochure, but I can't help that there are lists and categories in this episode. I don't know any other way to do it. I love a good list. I hope this episode helps you, even though this is very listful. The show notes have these lists, of course, and lots of links, so you can research them. Or if this reads too much like a brochure, shut it off, read the show notes. Instead, they are on perrysburgpodcast.com/127. Again, that's perrysburgpodcast.com/127. And the categories are number one, safety, number two, church, number three, city, community, and events, number four, local attractions, number five, environmental, number six, inclusion and the ability community, number seven, people experiencing medical challenges, number eight, veterans, number nine, older adults, number 10, hospice, number 11, clothing, number 12, help children, number 13, food, number 14, animals, number 15, running, and number 16, general service opportunities. Let's start with safety. Safety first, right? Volunteering doesn't always mean signing up with an organization. Being a designated driver for a party, a night out, or a New Year's Eve celebration can make a big difference. This is very timely as we're between Christmas and New Year's as I publish this on Friday, December 26th, 2025. That was the only thing in the safety category. Next up is church. Many churches rely heavily on volunteers. You could serve on a committee or your church council. You could volunteer inside the church's nursery. If a parent needs a break so they can listen to a sermon and you don't mind sitting with their kids in the nursery, there's your chance to volunteer. You could also decorate for the seasons, Christmas, Easter. Maybe you could help with an Easter egg hunt, or you could do some landscaping at the church, pull some weeds, lay down some mulch, etc. Or you could help with a funeral luncheon or other event. These roles are essential to keeping faith communities running. Let's go to city, community, and events next. The city of Perrysburg and its partners offer lots of hands on opportunities. You could just, in general, pick up trash at a local park as you're going for a walk. Just pick up one or two pieces of trash and throw it in the garbage can. You could also help your neighbors by doing something online. You can look at those Buy Nothing Perrysburg Facebook groups, and if somebody needs an item, you can donate it. I have been both on the giving end and the receiving end of that Facebook group. Again, it's called the Buy Nothing, BUY, Buy Nothing, Perrysburg Facebook groups. I actually did a podcast episode on that. You can find it in the back catalog on perrysburgpodcast.com. If you would like something a little more structured, the City of Perrysburg has commissions and boards. If you would like to volunteer with the City of Perrysburg, go to the City of Perrysburg's website and look at the opportunities, volunteer opportunities, with the commissions and boards. If you'd like to hear more about that from Perrysburg's former public information officer, Marie Dunn, you can listen to her speak about it on episode 88 of the Perrysburg podcast. Another opportunity is Perrysburg's Great American Cleanup. That goes on every April, if I remember right, and that's just a seasonal volunteer opportunity where you clean up Perrysburg's city parks. The next opportunity is with Downtown Perrysburg Inc. Brittany Huntley has been on the Perrysburg podcast before talking about how she always needs volunteers to help with all of the events that Downtown Perrysburg Inc. does. And they're fun events. We've got Winterfest, Rock the Docks, Boots in the Berg, Zip the Berg, and more. Things come up. We even had an opportunity with the eclipse. She needed volunteers with that. If you would like to learn more about Downtown Perrysburg Inc., go to downtownperrysburg.org and look at community events. I'll have links in the show notes to much of what I mentioned today. Next up is Way Public Library. They have volunteer opportunities at Way Public Library. If you go to the website, which is waylibrary.info, you can check out the volunteer application form. Things they need volunteers with vary from time to time, so just sign up through the volunteer application form and they will reach out. And the last opportunity on my list is the Perrysburg Chamber of Commerce. You don't have to join the Perrysburg Chamber of Commerce. You could just reach out to Tim Ansted. He's the executive director. I would bet good money that he could use some volunteers to help out with the homecoming parade. So, just on a hunch, if you like helping out with parades, reach out to Tim Ansted at the Perrysburg Chamber of Commerce. Local attractions are next. I just have two items in this category. They are the 577 Foundation and Fort Meigs Historic Site. So, the 577 Foundation has a tab on their website, which is 577foundation.org, and you can sign up to be a volunteer. It says on the website that they need docents, educators, front desk helpers, or garden volunteers. If any of that is interesting to you, check out 577foundation.org. And then the Fort Meigs Historic Site also accepts volunteers. Go to fortmeigs.org/volunteer. That does it for local attractions. The next category is environmental. Environmental volunteering can be very hands on and very satisfying. In general, you could weed gardens at an older adult's house, like your grandparents' or your parents' house. You could also help out at the 577 Foundation or with a garden club. Partners for Clean Streams also made it into this category. Groups remove trash from local streams, rivers, and ditches. They have several opportunities year round. To learn more, visit partnersforcleanstreams.org. Also, in the environmental category, we have Grassroots Recycling to Reuse Network LLC. Let me say that a little slower. This is new to me. Grassroots Recycling to Reuse Network LLC. This organization keeps usable materials out of the landfill. They accept materials and they also give away donated materials. They make and sell household items using donated materials as well. It seems like a matchmaking place for recyclables. I can't wait to check this place out. I kind of want to shop there. I'm curious about some of the things that I've seen on their website, which is grassrootsrecycling2reuse.com. Just two more things in the environmental category. They are the Wood County Park District. You can volunteer with the Wood County Park District, and you can, in a similar way, volunteer with the Metro Parks Toledo. That's the Toledo Metro Parks system. Both park systems need volunteers. I've got their websites listed in the show notes on perrysburgpodcast.com. Moving on, supporting people with disabilities is another important area of volunteer service. I have a son with autism, and so this category is near and dear to me. The two things that I have in this category are volunteering with the Ability Center of Greater Toledo and volunteering with the Wood County Board of Developmental Disabilities. Just two examples here, just one for each category. The Ability Center of Greater Toledo is always needing help with assistance dogs. They need people to foster puppies. They need donations of money and food and toys. So that's kind of a fun one. But of course, the Ability Center of Greater Toledo has other volunteer needs. Just check the website and you will find out what they need. And my example for the Wood County Board of Developmental Disabilities is a classic: Special Olympics. They often need help with their Special Olympics program. To learn more, visit woodcountydd.org/volunteer. Again, I've got all these links in the show notes for episode 127 on perrysburgpodcast.com. Let's go with medical challenges next. There are ways to volunteer with organizations that support people facing medical challenges. Three examples include the Ronald McDonald House of Northwest Ohio, the American Cancer Society, and the American Red Cross. Veterans are next. Supporting veterans is another meaningful way to volunteer. You can volunteer with the city or township's cemetery board and help Perrysburg American Legion Post 28 place flags at veterans' graves. This will be around Memorial Day or Veterans Day. And if you're a veteran, you can join the American Legion and help with various projects. That does it for veterans. Older adults are next. There are many quiet acts of service that make a huge difference to an older adult who's either not as ambulatory as they used to be or is now isolated because they can't get out of the house and into the community. Some general ideas include mowing grass, raking leaves, shoveling snow, and taking out the trash. Some more specific ideas include setting up a Knox box for an older adult who may be a neighbor or a family member, just in case the fire department needs access and the door's locked. A Knox box can provide access so the fire department doesn't have to knock the door down. Another idea is helping out with Perrysburg's senior nutrition program. Senior nutrition program, I think, has replaced the term Meals on Wheels. For more information about volunteering with this, contact the Wood County Committee on Aging. Their website is wccoa.net. The last idea in this category of older adults is visiting shut ins. Now, if somebody is isolated due to not being able to get out of the house, they may enjoy a visit. What would you do during your visit? You could read to them. I love reading, I love books, but also, if they can't get out of the house, they might enjoy hearing about local news. It's one thing to listen to the national news and maybe the regional news there on the television, but if you bring the Perrysburg Messenger Journal newspaper to them, or the Buzz Book, or Perrysburg Living Magazine, or their church's newsletter, or the Way Public Library's newsletter, they could find out what's going on around town. If you use this idea, find out what would be of value to a shut in that you visit and do that. Maybe they want you to read them a novel of their choosing or just have a conversation with them. That's it for older adults. Hospice is next. Hospice patients often need companionship. There are at least two options locally. We've got Hospice of Northwest Ohio and Care 360 Hospice. That's Care 360 Hospice. That one's in Toledo. Both accept volunteers. Some organizations focus on meeting basic needs, so let's talk about clothing next. We've got just two items in this category. We've got Timothy's Perrysburg Foundation, which is located at St. Timothy's Episcopal Church on East Boundary Street here in Perrysburg. They accept clothing donations and they also provide clothing to those in need. To learn more about Timothy's Perrysburg Foundation, head to timothysperrysburg.org. And the second one in this category is Operation Clean Duds. Operation Clean Duds provides free laundry services to individuals and families facing challenges. To learn more, go to operationcleanduds.org. Our biggest category is next. There are many opportunities in and around Perrysburg to help children. Some are very familiar, like elementary school parent teacher organizations, the PTOs. We've got four elementaries here. We've got Fort Meigs, Toth, Frank, and Woodlands Elementary. So there are four parent teacher organizations at the elementary school level. We've got the HPI and junior high parent organizations. And then at the high school, there is a parent organization as well. My kids just graduated within the last 5 years. So one of my fondest memories of helping was with the cookie jar around Christmas time. You can donate cookies, Chex Mix, other goodies, etc., to the teachers so that they can have something yummy to eat during their teacher work day right before break. Next on my list is the Perrysburg Schools Foundation. That's an organization that you can volunteer with. They assist with school related events, fundraisers, and support for students and teachers. To learn more about that, head over to perrysburgschoolsfoundation.org/volunteer. Next up is helping with sports teams or the band. For example, transporting the instruments for the band kids and making sure they have water during parades. And for the sports teams, just a quick example, there are volunteers that help transport the tents that end up going to cross country meets and track meets. Just a little example. Then the runners have a place to change clothes and put their stuff if it's raining. Next on my list is coaching. Coach a sport like baseball, softball, soccer, or YMCA sports, maybe flag football. The world needs volunteers to coach. Next up on my list is a serious one. It is being a CASA volunteer. That's a court appointed special advocate. You can learn more about this at woodcountycasa.org. CASA, as an organization, trains volunteers to advocate for children who are involved in the court system. In the court system, for example, due to abuse or neglect. Next up is Let's Build Beds. Let's Build Beds builds beds for children ages 3 through 17. It kind of does what it says. Let's Build Beds. To learn more about this, you can go to letsbuild.org. Next on my list is the Program Inc. You can find that at programinc.org. That program has opportunities to provide male role models for young boys. Next up is Neighborhood Bridges Perrysburg. I learned about this one at the Perrysburg Junior High School Holiday Craft Show in November. This organization, Neighborhood Bridges Perrysburg, provides basic needs for students, such as clothing and food. To learn more, visit neighborhoodbridges.org/community/Perrysburg. I've got that link in the show notes. Next on my list is Perrysburg Heights Community Association. Perrysburg Heights Community Association supports after-school programs, summer programming, homework help, community events, and much more. There's a link to the Perrysburg Heights Community Association in the show notes on perrysburgpodcast.com. Next on my list is an ACBC program. You can learn more about this at acbcohio.org. And basically, this is an aluminum cans for burned children program. Fire Marshal Aaron Harwell talked about this on episode 110 of the Perrysburg podcast. Save your aluminum cans and donate them at Kripke Enterprises in Toledo, and it will support the Aluminum Cans for Burned Children program. I have just two things left on my list of ways to help children. One is babysitting for a family member or neighbor, and the other is tutoring, mentoring, or helping students. That ends the list of opportunities in and around Perrysburg to help children. Next up is food. If food insecurity is something that you care about, there are several local options. Timothy's Perrysburg Foundation is one of them. They have a soup kitchen and they need volunteers to help with it. They also have a small food pantry at the back doors of the church. This is at St. Tim's Episcopal Church on East Boundary Street. You can donate food as well. Next up is the Perrysburg Township Food Pantry that's located on Lime City Road in Perrysburg. You can check with the township to see if they need help distributing food. You can also, of course, donate food to that food pantry. Real quick, I'm going to list 5 other food pantries that you can help with. Mom's Mobile Mission on Jefferson Street. I believe that's at the Perrysburg Heights Community Center. The Islamic Food Pantry that is also located on Jefferson Street at the Perrysburg Heights Community Center. We've got PCU Food Pantry, also known as Perrysburg Christians United Food Pantry. That's on East Boundary Street at Grace Church, Perrysburg. And then we've got 2 that are out of town. In Sylvania, we've got the Jewish Senior Family and Social Services of Greater Toledo Food Pantry. And in Bowling Green, we've got the Brown Bag Food Pantry. To learn more about the Brown Bag Food Pantry, go to brownbagfoodproject.org. And that's it for food. The next category is animals. The following 2 organizations can always use monetary and item donations, but they also need help with animal care, fostering, and adoption events. They are the Wood County Humane Society and the Toledo Humane Society. And just remember that you can also help the Ability Center Assistance Dogs program as well. Running is next. Large events like the Glass City Marathon need hundreds of volunteers. To volunteer with other races, you can also look at runsignup.com. Other running events need volunteers too. That's it for races and running events. Next up is my general service category, and this is the last one. In this category, I have the following list of ways to give back in and around Perrysburg. First is nonprofits and boards. You can be a board member. Give your time. Give your talent too. Next is the Lions Club. There is a Lions Club of Perrysburg, and they have a Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Perrysburg Lions Club. That's Lions with an S. Facebook.com/Perrysburg Lions Club. Another general service organization is Just Serve. Go to justserve.org. Next up is the United Way of Greater Toledo. If you would like to learn about community service projects in and around Perrysburg, head to unitedwaytoledo.org/volunteer. And we just have 2 other things on the list and then we'll be done. The last 2 things on my list are Toledo Helps Ukraine and writing grants. The founder of Toledo Helps Ukraine lives right here in Perrysburg, and there are ways to donate items and money to support Ukraine from Perrysburg. So check out 4ua.org. That is the website for Toledo Helps Ukraine, 4ua.org. And the last thing on my list is writing grants and donating money to local causes. For example, I wrote some grants through Thrivent Financial, and they provided $250 grants to help Timothy's Perrysburg Foundation and Toledo Helps Ukraine. If you know how to write a grant and can get some money that you can donate to a local cause, then I encourage you to write a grant and donate the money. And that ends my list of ways to give back in and around Perrysburg. I think there were about 60 different items on that gigantic list and 16 different categories. If you would like to give your time, talent, or treasure, I hope this episode has helped you. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to volunteer every week. If you want to help, start with 1 hour, one event, or one organization that matters to you. If you want to do more, the sky's the limit. Perrysburg is a strong community because people show up in big ways and small ones too. And there's room for everyone to help. Thank you for listening to the Perrysburg Podcast, episode 127. To find the show notes, go to perrysburgpodcast.com. In the show notes, you will find links to many of the organizations mentioned today, previous episodes of the Perrysburg Podcast that I mentioned, and more. If you would like to get an email every time a new episode of the Perrysburg Podcast comes out, sign up for the newsletter on perrysburgpodcast.com/newsletter. You can also subscribe to or follow the Perrysburg Podcast on your favorite podcast player and YouTube to get each new episode right when it comes out. Go ahead and share this episode with anyone who might want to give back in and around Perrysburg too. Thank you so much for listening today, and I'll talk to you next Friday.